Hey guys, welcome to another video from Just Two Dudes. My name's Louie.
My name's Seth.
Alright, so last week, as you guys know, we didn't make a video. Seth had midterms. I was at Monday Night Football.
Yeah, Dad was out of town for a couple days, and it just didn't work out. You know, we're sorry about that. I know we got a lot of people who watch our videos every week, but
it was a big game, and we wanted to do something on it. We just didn't have the time. We really, honestly, don't know where to begin. But I will say this: I took a lot of flack with some comments from some viewers about how I was bashing the team after the Wyoming game, and I'd like to know what people's opinions are now. Perhaps they didn't like, several people told me they didn't like how I called them pussies. That may have been wrong, but I wonder how you feel about that now. We do have two people we got to shout out to though. Because they won our videos instantly, and we really appreciate it. They give us a lot of comments, and they are Young Gemma, and I don't know how to pronounce. We don't know if it's Hemor Gemma or Hemora Gemma, but those guys give us some really good comments and some really good feedback. Those guys, they're really into the Huskers, and that's their team. And
thanks for tuning in and giving us comments and stuff.
They get boiled. You know, I think he even kind of got on me a little bit. Young Gemma is like, we can't win every game 40-0 and settle down. And then Hemora Gemma says, bring the passion. I like it. So anyway, thanks to those guys. They kind of their comments, we just really appreciate it. So about the game, national TV, first game in the Big Ten.
Complete embarrassment. I didn't even finish watching the game, I'll be honest. Halfway through the third quarter, I'm in my room playing online football on the Xbox.
I'm ashamed to call you my son and don't know why you would admit to that. Okay.
I rewatched the game later, but it's so embarrassing. I couldn't watch any more of it.
Let's get back to something.
I mean,
people are like, I don't want to watch your videos if all you're going to do is bash on the Huskers. First and foremost, since I was a little boy, I'm born and raised in Lincoln. I spent the first 18 years of my life living pretty close to the university. I don't know if anybody bleeds Husker red more than me. I don't know if anybody wants the Huskers to win more than me. I don't know if anybody who's my age gets so wrapped up in it and takes it so seriously, but I do. That's my home state team. Those are a lot of Nebraska boys, and I'm just furious at that whole team.
I'm embarrassed. I'm more embarrassed than angry.
No, embarrassment was going down in Norman, Oklahoma in 2008 when the score was 35 to nothing after 8 minutes. That was embarrassing.
This is much different.
This is different.
It's different, but I mean, really.
Because basically these teams were not unevenly matched. I don't care what anybody says. We were not unevenly matched with them.
No.
Okay, so
I mean, Wisconsin's a better team, but they're not.
They are not 31 points better. Yeah. Okay, so basically, he and I were at massive battles last week. I had this little crazy theory in my head, and I actually came pretty close with it. I thought Nebraska would dismantle themselves with penalties and turnovers and fumbles, and that's exactly what happened. Why don't you go ahead and talk about kind of your thoughts? Give me a break there, because I'll just keep talking.
Thoughts on what?
the game. You better say something, because I will talk for 2 hours.
First, you know, I thought we started the game off really well. I'm pretty sure a lot of you think we started off the game really, really well. But I tell you what, I was the only one. We had a group over here watching the game, and I was the only one freaking out when Jared Crick got in the backfield within 2 seconds on one of the first pass attempts, and just completely whiffed again for like the 4th time this year. And as soon as I saw that happen, I knew it was going to be a long night. No matter what the offense did, I knew no matter what, They were going to do whatever they want.
But you always get mad at me for saying, how do we constantly get back there and miss? And I told you that was a problem.
Well, it is a problem.
But you kept arguing with me.
I argued at first because it only happened a few times. It only happened a few times. But now that it's happening every time, it's different. You're allowed to miss a few tackles, even if you are Jared Craig.
Not every game!
Even if you're Ndamukong Suh, you're allowed to miss some tackles.
No, not if you're him.
I'm just saying. But when it becomes 2 or 3, and it's not just plays, it's key moments. That's
okay,
different. That's bad.
Okay, when Derek Carr came in here and lit us up, and then Keith Price lit us up, I was screaming because people were trying to tell me how good those quarterbacks were. They're average quarterbacks at best. But right now, if
I think Keith Price is going to be. I think he's going to be a good college football.
Okay. Right now, I think if you line up and you play the University of Nebraska, your quarterback is going to look all world. Russell Wilson is good to highly above.
Is great.
Okay.
He's
so
great.
if he's great, after he plays us, he's freaking Joe Montana.
Right.
And Joe Namath and Tom Brady all rolled into one because our defense sucks. And I'm furious. I don't get how this happened.
You know, I was reading something I found the other day that Phil Steele said that he thinks very easily the loss of our 3 senior defensive backs last year, Prince, DeJean, and Eric Hagg, could all equal 1 loss in their own because of what they do. And, you know, at first I was like, yeah.
I kind of called that, but I said our return game would offset it.
But, you know, there's just, I don't know what it is about the defense. I mean, obviously, to me, one of the more glaring aspects is the absence of Marvin Sanders. I mean, you don't go from people playing at high levels. I mean, Courtney Osborne and Austin Cassidy, Deontay Evans, those guys were playing good football last year.
No, but they were in backup roles. They didn't have to play the whole game how they play it now. Marvin Sanders got to coach Prince, Eric Hagg, and DeJean Gomes, and Alfonso Denner.
You have to admit, it's a huge difference. It's huge.
I don't know if it is because Bo's still coming up with the schemes and telling them how to coach. It's not like Corey Raymond came in and said, forget everything you know, it's my way now.
Well, in some ways, that's what has kind of happened,
okay,
though.
that's your opinion. I strongly disagree.
But all I'm saying is, you know...
I think if Corey Raymond would have been here last year, I think we would have been just as stellar in the secondary as we were with Marvin Sanders.
Dude, Marvin Sanders is very well regarded for what he does with DBs.
We disagree.
Okay, if we disagree, we disagree.
Yep. All right, so... basically, we are back to the same gutless bunch of whatever you want to call them, okay? But we've been bitching about it for almost a year and a half now about this offense.
Longer than that.
Which is fine. If we're going to score 17 points on the national stage and can't score from the 1-yard line to show a little pride at the end of the game, we're used to that from our offense, but we're not used to the defense giving up 25, 30 points a game.
That's the embarrassing part to me.
This is a Kevin Cosgrove, Bill Callahan defense.
Yeah, you know, it reeks. This whole season is reeking of 2008 all over again. And you know, some people I've said that to, they're like, we won 9 games and we won a pretty good bowl game. This is the University of Nebraska. We're not Virginia Tech. We don't get ranked in the preseason top 15, win 9-10 games every year, and choke when we have to. I mean, that's Virginia Tech. This is Nebraska. It's different. It's not acceptable to 9 wins is unacceptable.
Right. And
we fired a coach who won 12 games.
Totally. That Frank Solich.
Yeah.
But you know what everybody wants to say about talk about Jared Crick, Levante David, and Alfonso Denner, that we got 3 All-Americans. 3 All-Americans, my ass. They're not even going to make second or third team All Big Ten. They're not.
Well, Levante David, Mike, I mean, he's got, even though his play is down as far as big moments, I mean, he's still got crazy amounts of stats for tackles per game.
Okay, you might be right. Levante David might. Okay, but let's get to the game. He got really mad at me last week because I was touting like a 23-point loss because I had this little formula in my head.
I really thought,
and he didn't see it, but I totally saw it. But you know what? I don't want to sit here and say, "Oh, please give me credit because I'm right." I just wanted to know that I saw it coming, and I'm not totally surprised. But how it happened was very surprising to me. Okay, let's get right into what everybody wants to talk about is Taylor Martinez.
Yeah.
Okay, first quarter and a half of football, things were going great. Taylor looks
and there's a reason for that, which I will definitely get to in a minute.
Taylor looks like he's doing well. He's completing his passes.
5 for 7. 5 for 7 the first 2 drives. Good yardage.
Yep.
And key conversions on third down too.
Right. And Wisconsin's tailbacks are not ripping us a new one.
No.
We're right in there. We're holding them steady. Russell Wilson's kind of having his way with us, but we'll make a play on him. And I will say in the first quarter and a half, my gourd, I saw a Husker knock a ball out of somebody's hands. And beyond that, we actually scored off of it. I'm thinking, shit,
that's
Louie,
what I'm thinking.
You were wrong. Maybe Nebraska's ready to play. Okay.
I thought they were.
3 minutes left. I didn't. This is where I'll let him take over. I will just say that when Taylor Martinez threw that first interception, I was okay with it because I knew we were running the ball well, mixing the run and the pass, and I don't know where the air it out came from. I know we were trying to score, but that was a good play call.
It actually wasn't a good play call. It was in triple coverage. It was a complete blanket. Taylor threw it right to the guy. The receiver wasn't open like you thought.
Okay, so all receivers that he threw to were open. I truly believe that. The other part is if he's blanketed and he's got 3 guys on him, that means somebody else somewhere else is open.
Right.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean the person he threw the ball. You go ahead with what you're going to say.
So what I'm trying to say is I don't have a problem with the play calling because guys were open. I've been to a Nebraska game this year. We got guys open all over the field. So, okay, so you're saying on TV because this guy had 3 guys around him that you knew where the other 3 receivers were.
No, but it's like you're trying to sit there and say that he's throwing to wide open receivers. That's how it's been seeming to me since the game. It's kind of what you've been saying.
I'm saying that the play calls were okay and that guys were open, but Taylor just can't find them.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem with the play calling. If he's going to be your quarterback, he's occasionally going to have to throw the ball. But now as time's gone by, I'm so freaking worried because I don't know if we can throw the ball anymore. So you go ahead.
Here's the thing. With 3 minutes left in the second half, in the first half, I think we were up 14-13 at that point.
Right after the game, Bo Pelini said, I wanted to stay aggressive, so I don't mind Tim Beck's play calling. Today he comes out and he says, I wish we could have that one back, and I wish we would have stayed with the ground.
And here's why. Here's why. We are an offense that is built on running and play action. A lot like some other Big Ten teams, we just do it in different ways. We do it from option and pistol and shotgun, read option, a lot of stuff like that. But that's our offense, is mixing together. I don't have a problem with 3 minutes left before the half. Tim Beck wants to air it out. That's fine. But when you know your quarterback, Tim Beck had to do a better job in that situation of knowing who his quarterback is. After that first interception, he has to know his quarterback, and he has to know whether or not he can come back from that or not. You have to know that, because that's what cost us. We could have gone into the half. We threw a pick, okay? We threw a pick that first one. They scored. Whatever. You know, that's okay. We were being aggressive. Sometimes that happens. But then we get it right back with the fragile quarterback at that moment, and then we start chucking it all over again. At that point, with that atmosphere, as good as Wisconsin is already in that stadium, we needed to just say, okay, this half's over. And we just needed to run the ball. But no, we ended up passing again, and it was a pick, and they got another touchdown. And then we opened the third quarter with throwing, and there's another pick, and then another touchdown. And then before you know it, the game's already over.
The other side to that is just because you throw 3 interceptions doesn't mean your defense has got to come out and give them touchdowns off of it.
That's what I know, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Tim Beck right now. We're talking about his play calling. Yeah, the defense should stop people. They should. But you have to know your quarterback. When he throws one interception, this is Taylor Martinez. His completion percentage is horrible. It's probably one of the worst in the Big Ten for people who have started all the games this year. It's horrible. And you should know that one pick in that environment is going to lead to another. You have to know that. And hopefully Tim Beck does now. You have to be in control and you have to stay in your system at all times.
I think once you name somebody your quarterback, you got to ride him. I look at when I have to watch Dallas on Saturday, then I have to turn around and watch I watch the Huskers on Saturday and I watch Dallas on Sunday. Tony Romo's up 27-3. He's all world. He got 3 touchdowns. A couple incompletions. He's dominating. And for some reason, the same throws he makes in the first half are interceptions in the second half. And it's like Taylor does the same thing. He makes good throws, and then like one thing happens.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You have to know your quarterback. Our quarterback is a mental midget.
Well, okay, so then if we know our quarterback, and if another team knows our quarterback and says, okay, if we intercept him once, they're never going to throw again.
No. There's a difference between throwing and throwing within your system. It was a pass every down. From that situation on, we passed every single down. We didn't even run unless Taylor tucked it down.
Well, that's a whole nother thing. It looked like to me like they were bringing 3 or 4 guys to the line of scrimmage and then just dropping everybody.
So what?
Okay, hold on. What I'm saying is,
even better time to run the ball.
Why can he not take off running and get any yards?
Because he's a mental midget. He can't.
You can be a mental midget, but when he's a running quarterback, you mean you can't get past the line of scrimmage? You're letting cornerbacks come up and sack your quarterback as he takes off.
Should he be doing that? No, but unfortunately, that's what he is.
Well, the worst news out of all of that is Taylor Martinez is in no danger of losing his job. Bo Pelini comes out today and says that his backup, Breon Carnes, that there's a very wide gap between him and Taylor Martinez. So unfortunately, Taylor Martinez is who we got to live with and who we got to roll with. And folks, I said it before, 8-4, but I got to tell you, we better be so feeling very lucky that Penn State is down this year, and Ohio State is down
for now,
and Iowa's not looking very good. Because I'm sorry, the way I see it now, if Denard Robinson was coming in here this weekend, I got no reason to think he's not going to run for 400 and throw for 400. And laugh as he's doing it.
All I'm going to say is by the time we play Michigan, we better hope the way Michigan runs him 20 times a game, he's hurt by then. Because we have with this defense playing the way they are right now,
right?
We have it's going to be horrible. Remember when I was a freshman, Southwest beat us 84-0? Mm-hmm. That's what it could be like.
Well, luckily for us, their defense isn't that good, but I gotta wonder how good does your defense have to be? Wisconsin, as the year goes on, you're gonna see people. Yeah. You're gonna see people score points on them. Their defense isn't good. When the announcers kept saying, "Oh, look at the speed of Wisconsin's defense,"
their defense is slow.
I know. We were just that out of rhythm.
Yeah, and the reason why we were out of rhythm is because we got out of our system. We ran true to our system 5 different times, 5 different drives. When I rewatched the game, I noticed that. We ran it 5 different times. That's what I mean by that is the running first, mixing in with play action, doing a variety of things. That's what we do. We did that 5 times. We got 17 points off of those 5 times. All the other times, nothing. Turnovers, penalties. It's just, you have to stay within your system. You just have to.
Okay, but what if your system is fumbling the ball all over the place and getting endless penalties? You know, sometimes I think that had something to do with it because that team wasn't used to playing with penalties. And all of a sudden, they're faced with some adversity. And, you know, true to Taylor Martinez's form, had to fumble on the first series of the game.
When you're, unfortunately, when your quarterback is a mental midget, your offense is mental midgets. That's just how it is. Because everybody's going to feed off what the quarterback is doing.
I guess my thing is I know he got injured last year, but he's never recovered.
Oh, no.
If he would have played lesser competition the first 4 games, I don't even want to know. I'm just telling everybody right now that what you saw on Saturday out of him is what you will see the entire rest of the year. Get used to last year's Texas A&M game. Get used to last year's Oklahoma game. Get used to the bowl game, because this offensive line is still shit. They were bringing 3 guys, and they had, you know... And
we still can't pass block.
We couldn't block them, and Taylor had no lanes to run through because we have 5 guys blocking 3, and all 3 of their guys got off of their blocks and got Taylor as he tried to run.
We cannot pass block to save our lives.
So this team is gutless. There's no chemistry. There is absolutely no desire. There's no camaraderie. Nobody out there wants to make the right play so that their teammate can shine.
There is one person out there. I think there's 2 people out there who are like that, or there's 3 actually. I think the way Jamal Turner.
Okay, Jamal Turner, Quincy Unwin, Rex Burkhead. Blah blah blah. Duh. Okay, so 3 guys out of 100.
Right.
This is a University of effing Nebraska.
I know.
That's
shit. What I'm saying is you can't. That's
okay. So point out 3 out of 100. Okay, awesome. Okay, so 3 out of 100. There's nobody out there that wants to do anything for their teammate. There's no defensive guy that wants to be in the right spot so that his buddy can shine. And all I heard out of Jared Crick's freaking mouth was all this, oh, we've got so much camaraderie on the defense. Oh, we're going to be so good. Everybody wants to do their job so that when the other guy's turn is to make the play, they can make it. And that is absolutely out the window.
Yeah, it's
same thing for the offensive line.
Well, I tell you what. Why was Marcel Jones starting instead of Tyler Moore? Just about after every game, the coaches say Tyler Moore had a great game. He graded out the best of our linemen. And now Marcel Jones, who is good for 4 penalties a game, is now better than your best. No. And what that does, and Andrew Rodriguez starting instead of Choi, who has been starting, that was a huge difference. Even though somebody might be better at one single position, it's the offensive line. It's the best 5 that work together. And that five of Hardrick, Choi, Caputo, oh my gosh, I can't think of Spencer Long, and Tyler Moore, the last 2 weeks, they got 300 yards rushing each game. And now it's Andrew Rodriguez and Marcel Jones.
Well, how funny was it that Tyler Moore came in after like 2 or 3 series and he false started. So
you can't,
they amazingly...
You can't mess. I was shocked they took him right out too.
They amazingly took him out and put Marcel Jones back in the game. Very next play, Marcel Jones held.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ain't that something? Only our offensive line would freaking punish one guy, and the next guy they bring in on the very next play gets a holding call.
You know, I just think you're talking about the offensive line. The last 2 weeks, our offensive line played really good.
And remember, after the Wyoming game, I told you I got absolutely no problems. Taylor's putting up points, and
right.
Yeah, so
this offensive line, but once you change 2 starters, that's enough.
Well, but what I'm saying is that by this time of year, that offensive line, it's struggling heavily.
Yeah.
It's like I don't see how we got any freaking chance against Ohio State, Michigan State, Michigan.
This is like a 40-minute thing.
I mean, I just don't know how all these teams aren't going to come in here and clobber us.
Okay, Ohio State didn't even put a point on the board until 16 seconds left. And Michigan State's defense isn't that great.
If you're telling me you're not worried about Ohio State, I don't know what to say.
Oh, of course I'm worried about Ohio State. We always lose to big brand teams.
Thank you.
We always I've said it since we switched, even before all the suspensions and crap, that Ohio State could very easily be our Texas, where no matter what they find a way to beat us. Because whenever there's that big name brand university, we don't beat them. It's like they're, big bad Texas and we're small little Nebraska.
Yeah, it's like we've had to come accustomed over the last decade to talking about teams that beat us, and to me that's just utterly It's so unacceptable. It's so disappointing. You know, I think people that watch our videos, you know I'm not sold on Bo Pelini. And if you guys are fine, because we get a lot of people that say, oh, the team's young, they're doing good. Well, keep making excuses. And every year you're going to find us 8-4, 10-4, 9-5, and Bo Pelini's going to be about, after 10 years of coaching here, Bo's going to be 90-40.
You think he could very well end up being a Frank Beamer, having good teams that just never.
No, Frank Beamer averages 10 to 11 wins a game. I'm saying that Bo, and he coaches at Virginia Tech. I'm saying that we're the University of Nebraska.
Right.
We can't have a coach who in 10 years goes 90-40. And I'm telling you, that's exactly what's going to happen. What I'm wondering is Taylor Martinez going to be Bo Pelini's Kevin Cosgrove? I mean, is he going to cost him a job?
Who knows?
I mean, you know, part of me wants to just shut up about Taylor Martinez because the kid's been here 3 years and he's had to learn 3 different offensive systems. And part of me is like, you know, that's too bad.
This was like a 50-minute.
But you know, at the same time, he's got to step up. And sometimes I'm just like, it all comes from Bo Pelini. All the penalties comes from him. All the fumbling comes from him. You know, it comes from the top down. I don't know why you would allow your quarterback to fumble on the first series of every game. It boggles my mind. We go through these stretches where